in the hands of honest, patriotic people. We come with a job that must be done, for the time has finally come, a time for choosing. We know that the struggle for the truth is never ending. We'll show that before our time is done, all our battles will be won, for our destiny is one of understanding.
I'm Linda Woods, and Julie Cunningham is there in the red. She's the co-chapter leader. And we have a lot of new people tonight, I think. So I'm just going to give a quick overview of the Weston A. Price Foundation and what it is. It is a nonprofit foundation that was founded in 1999 by a woman named Sally Fallon. And it is dedicated to nutrition research, education, and activism. And it's based on the work and the research of Dr. Weston Price, who was a dentist who practiced in Cleveland, Ohio in the early part of the 1900s. And he, throughout the course of his work, began to notice the deteriorating nature and health of his patients' mouths, and that seemed to also go hand in hand with poor health overall. And so he embarked on what turned out to be about a 10-year study of all over the world in which he looked for populations that were very, very isolated and had yet to be influenced by Western culture. And primarily what that meant is that they were still eating the local foods that they could get in their whole forms, and not yet eating white flour, white sugar, and anything processed. And he went all over. He went to Switzerland, Australia, Africa. He studied Indians in Florida and just all over the world. And these diets varied greatly, but there were a few things that they had in common. And one of the primary components was that they all included some kind of animal food, and that they were about 10 times higher in fat-soluble vitamins, what he called activators, than the American diet was at that time. So vitamins A, D, E, and K. And that really is the key goal of the foundation, is to get people to understand the critical importance of those fat-soluble vitamins and activators in people's diets, because they're absolutely necessary for your body's ability to use other things. So that's just a quick overview of the foundation. We have here upcoming events. Our meeting in January. We've just decided to add an extra event on February 2nd, not because we just really like to come here on a Monday night, but because we have sort of received a challenge from the National Foundation to help educate the public about genetically modified food and its health risks. So I'll just quickly kind of tell you about that. I learned about it at the National Weston Price Conference that I attended in November. How many of you are familiar with genetically modified foods or understand what they are and what the risks are? Okay, so about half, it looks like. I was really pretty ignorant of this. I mean, I knew it was potentially problematic, but I hadn't really done a lot of reading, and it's not something that you see in the mainstream media really at all. But essentially what it is it's when the DNA of one living organism, it could be a plant, an animal, a bacteria, or a virus, is injected into the gene or DNA of a host plant. And the goals of these biotech companies to do this are, they have several, but the main two goals that we see today are herbicide tolerance and pesticide production, so that the plant becomes a herbicide itself, or when pests, bugs, etc. eat the plant, they either die or are deterred in some way. So Roundup Ready soybeans is probably the example that we all have heard of. These foods have been in our food supply in the United States that is no accident. So what we're going to show on February 2nd is a DVD. It's a documentary entitled The World According to Monsanto that sort of details the evolution of the politics and everything that has led up to this predicament in which we find ourselves today. And the goal of the Weston Price Foundation and also of a nonprofit called the Institute for Responsible Technology, which was founded by a man named Jeffrey Smith, who is a worldwide expert on genetically modified foods, is to have 2009 be what he calls the tipping point for GM foods, as we've largely already reached for the growth hormones used in milk. We've come to a point now that most consumers are aware of the hormones in milk. They don't want them. And Kroger, Walmart, and Starbucks have all said that the milk they sell, their own branded milk, is not going to have hormones in it because consumers don't want it. But the problem with the foods is that consumers don't know it's in there, and it's in almost all processed foods because the majority of soy, corn, cottonseed, and canola oil are genetically modified. So the good news for us is that if you're eating this diet, you're avoiding those oils anyway because you know they're not healthy for you. But there are all kinds of potential health implications, and again, people just aren't aware of it. So we're going to show this in an effort to just have people be informed about it, and then also maybe get some people involved in helping spread the word in a variety of ways that we'll talk about on the 2nd. So I won't say anything more on that. There are some free brochures produced by the Institute for Responsible Technology on the table. So I'd encourage you to all take one of those, and then also a non-GMO shopping guide. All right, so now we're going to introduce Joan Roberts, our speaker, and she is, along with her husband Jim here in the purplish shirt, are the co-chapter leaders of the North Dayton Weston A. Price chapter. She has been educating people for a long time on healthy eating, and is currently working on a commissioned project from the National Foundation. She's writing a textbook on fertility and preconceptual health, preconceptual diet for women. So, Joan Roberts.
Is there anybody that needs a handout? Oh, did everybody get handouts when they came in?
Hey, good to be with you this evening. I'm not real. Is this okay? You got me all right? My husband always says you're supposed to hold this like an ice cream cone. This is a very exciting message I have to bring for you tonight because a lot of people are really struggling to lose weight. And this is really one of the best diets. I think it's the best diet for weight loss, for sure. I don't know if you've had a chance to read the cartoon or not, but this woman is really complaining about being overweight. And goes on and on about it, and finally her husband just removes the mirror. And that is exactly what my husband would do. It really is. Because she said, I wish something could be done to make me feel better about the way I look. So he just picks up the mirror and takes it out of the room. And something really can be done. And I know it's a very frustrating thing. Eat Fat, Lose Fat is a book that was written by Mary Enig and Sally Fallon for the purpose of helping people to lose weight. And Mary Enig is a scientist. She is a biochemist, actually, and she is an expert on fats and has a very scientific mind. And Sally, is the president of Weston A. Price Foundation. She is a gourmet cook, and she is the one that writes all of the menus and the recipes that are in the back of this book.